Good afternoon, everyone. According to the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction 2020, residential fires are among the top 5 most frequent disasters in Southeast Asia, and Indonesia sadly is no exception. Clearly, playing with fire is dangerous, whether we're talking about unmanaged electricity in densely populated neighborhood or the kind of fire that starts with a bad romance. But today, we're not gonna talk about heartbreaks. We're talking about real fires, real risks, and real people working to prevent disaster in their own communities. My name is Jumiati, and today I will be presenting finding from our research titled Analyzing the Impact of Red Car Policy Implementation on Environmental Fire Resilience in Sukamentri Subdistrict for this conference. Next, we will talk about introduction and background about this research. This study was conducted in response on alarming trend, frequent fires in urban and semi-urban areas with limited infrastructure, narrow access routes, and poor preparedness, especially in Garut Regency. In response to this risk, the local governments developed a localized fire resilience initiative called Red Car, short for Relawan Pemadam Kebakaran or Volunteers Firefighters. Red Car is part of a broader policy framework called Sistem Ketahanan Kebakaran Lingkungan or the Environmental Fire Resilience System. It trains community members to serve as first responders, conduct fire drills, and increase local preparedness, especially in areas unreachable by formal emergency service. And next, we will talk about policy intervention and legal frameworks for this community activity. Red Car is legally supported by national regulation. The national regulation that we talk is Peraturan Menteri Pekerjaan Umum dan Perumahan Rakyat or Ministry of Public Works Regulation on technical guidelines for fire protection management in urban area. And the next one is Keputusan Menteri Dalam Negeri or Minister of Home Affairs Decree on support for community-based fire risk management. You can see the number of regulation on the slide for the explanation about this regulation. While the Red Car program has shown strong potential in strengthening fire resilience at the community level, its impact is not without limitation. Like many grassroots initiatives, Red Car continues to face several critical challenges, including limited funding, weak coordination with formal agencies, and the absence of formal legal recognition. These issues, if left unaddressed, could undermine the long-term sustainability and scalability of the program. And for the next step or the next page, we will talk about theoretical and conceptual frameworks from this research. To better understand the strength and weakness of Red Car, this study combines two well-established frameworks. First, we use the framework of Edward III policy implementation model, which highlight 4 key dimensions. The first one is communication, research, implementers commitment, and the last one about bureaucratic support. And the second one, we will use Tierney resilience frameworks, which break down community fire resilience into preparedness, response capacity, structural and social resilience, and the last but not least, post-disaster recovery or recovery process. We design our research to explore how those implementation factors affect resilience outcomes. We also link both frameworks to see how policy quality influence actual resilience. And the next step, we will talk about methodology of research. We use a quantitative correlational design involving 75 respondents, including local government officials, Redcar volunteers, and the local residents. You can see the sampling process through the slide, and we use Solovin formula before we determine the 75 respondents for this research. And data were collected via structured questionnaires and analyzed using SPSS. We specifically look at how well Redcar was implemented and how that correlated with environment fire resilience. You can see the brief explanation about our methodology of research through the slide of presentation. And after we talk about methodological research, we will talk about result and analysis. And for the next stage, we will talk about result and analysis about this research. The results were compelling. The Redcar implementation had a strong and statistically significant impact on the fire resilience. We can see the number of correlation coefficient or R with the point of 0.878 and R square value with the point 0.77 This number means that 77% of improvement for the result from this research. The results were compelling that Redcar implementation had a strong and statistically significant impact on fire resilience. We can see the number of coefficient correlation and also R square value. The R square value is 0.771 and it has a meaning. This means that 77% of improvement in fire resilience can be explained by how well Redcar was implemented. That's not just a correlation, it's a wake-up call for policy investment. And the next stage, we will talk about discussion and policy implementation. The disposition number is 83.2%, which means the field actors have a strong commitment for Redcar voluntary activity or Redcar voluntary programs. And the next one is about bureaucratic structures. The number that show is 80.53%, which means the volunteers are motivated and the administrative structures are relatively functional or the system are well organized. For the communication number, it has 57.06%. It means the communication still need some improvement. And the last but not least, the number of research is 54.13%. It means this field still has limited finding and tools. And based on our findings, we propose several recommendation policy for this program. The first one is legal formalization, because we need Redcar should be embedded into local regulation, or we'll call it as PERDA or PERBUK, to ensure this continuity. And the second one about structured training. We have to develop standardized and then quarterly training modules with the fire departments. And the next one is dedicated budget. We have to allocate disaster fund at the village level for equipments and operations. And the next one is about inclusive recruitment. We have to expand volunteer base using fire risk maps and includes women and youth, because women and youth is the functional research for this program, and we can expand and develop this program by involving women and youth. And the last but not least, about mentorship program or training program. In this suggestion, we have to assign a trained officer to guide Redcar units in this field. So everyone who join this voluntary program can increase their knowledge about fire and another disaster risks. Based on the explanation from the background until the result and discussion, and also implementation suggestion policy for this program, we meet the conclusion and global relevance for this Redcar program. In conclusion, this research demonstrates that Redcar is both statistically effective and structurally promising as a community-based model to urban fire risk reduction. By combining implementations science with resilience theory, we see that volunteer programs, when supported with the right structures, can be sustainable solution in low research environments. This case study also aligns with international priorities programs such as the Sendai frameworks, the New Urban Agenda, and the Sustainable Development Goal. Redcar shows us that in the global south, where state capacity is often limited, citizen-based model can bridge the gap between risk and response cheaply, effectively, and sustainably. Before I close this presentation, allow me to end this presentation with a simple pantun. Walking through the street of Sukamantri, the air is warm, the people care. When fire comes, we act quickly because resilience grows when we prepare. Thank you very much and see you in the next session.